YouTube as well. All right, cool. Let's see. Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that, and I'm sure a lot of people are right now, that the Giants are actually making it a close game. They're currently up right now. Mahomes and the Chiefs have been having a hard time. They're at home even, and they're still having a hard time. Anyone who is a Derrick Henry fan or Derrick Henry have them on their fantasy football team is not looking too good. I'm one of those people. That hurts. It really does hurt. So I'm going to go back and forth because I'm also on TikTok Live, also on YouTube Live. So if you want to watch or if you want to comment, you can add to my YouTube following and subscribers. I do 5 picks every week, picks that I feel very confident about during the week. So if you want to see those, if you gamble at all, if you care about those, then just hit me up and we'll go from there. Let's see. So let's see. There was a flag on New York. So it's going to be first down. First down, Kansas City. Damn, they got him in the backfield too. They got him in the backfield. There's something. Don't know what. Oh, he grabbed him by the helmet in the back and threw him. God, you have to be better than that. It's so hard. Especially with football players, you get so emotional. But they had him. I think that was third down, and now it's first down. So let's see. Anyways, we talk about like where I was right and where I was wrong in last week's picks. I had the Rams over the Texans. The Texans had not covered in the last 4 games, and they've been double-digit underdogs in those games. The Rams actually did not cover, unfortunately. It was 16.5-point spread, and the Texans actually were able to cover that game. Let's see. First, still talking about it. Tennessee at Indianapolis. I had Tennessee +3. Indianapolis was favored by 3, and it didn't look too well for them. Tennessee actually did win that game. Derrick Henry didn't look that good, just like we were just talking about. Derrick Henry got hurt. He's soft ass. Who's soft? Let me know who you think is soft. Also, you can go to my YouTube channel, Fabella Home Studios, and you can leave comments there. I will answer first down. They throw it to their tight end, not Kelsey, but they throw it to the other tight end. I think Fisher, and he did not catch it. Let's see. Yeah, no. Oh, they're trying to think maybe he caught it. No, he dropped it. Complete drop. Let's see. So now it's second down and 10. And they're at the 30, so they potentially could score. Now, if they hit a field goal here, it'll be tied 17-17. That's probably what's going to happen unless they do some kind of play. They get them in the backfield. So that ends that one. Let's see. So I had San Francisco over Chicago, 4.5-point spread. San Francisco did win that game pretty heavily. So San Francisco got that one. I had Buffalo over Miami, 14.5. I got that. Buffalo did cover. I was wrong on the Jets in Cincinnati, which I'm sure most people were wrong about the Jets in Cincinnati. The New York Jets out of nowhere with their third string quarterback somehow got a win. Very impressive. And there goes my fantasy game. I just lost. Oh well, is what it is. But let's see. So yeah, anyways, those were my picks of the week. I got 3 out of 5. I tend to get either 3 out of 5 or I get 4 out of 5. It's rare to get 5 out of 5. I rarely have 2. I rarely have 1 win. I usually get at least a couple wins. At least 3 to 4 wins a week. When I was gambling the most, I was actually up. I think I went in close to 80%. It was like 70 something percent. 70 to low 80% in wins. So if you are interested in gambling and you want to do something, you definitely look at my picks. My picks tend to be at least decently higher percentage than Vegas's picks. So if you wanted to go there, just let me know. Or you just like the videos and go from there. My kids actually do their picks as well. They're actually not too bad, which is kind of weird. They're so far, one of them is pretty high in his percentages of wins. Mahomes, 2nd and 9 at the 12-yard line. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Mahomes back. Look, he's getting a sack. Oh no, gets away from the sack, throws it to the side, gives it to Hartman. Hartman rushes or gets for a touchdown. I'm pretty sure the ball was down though. That didn't look like a touchdown to me. Pretty sure he dropped that ball and then he popped it off of the ground. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Throws the ball. I'm pretty sure it hits the ground. Oh, that probably was a touchdown. It touched the ground. Definitely touched the ground. But he had possession of it. And that's all you need, I believe. Ooh, that might go back because he only had like a couple finger possession on it. Are they gonna? Oh yeah, they called it incomplete, so no touchdown. Take it away. Take it away. Incomplete. Let's see. I'll go back to scores here in a second. I just want to see if Kansas City can get a touchdown to take the lead, or they're going to hit a field goal to go tied game, with 9 minutes left in the quarter. Either way, wouldn't be surprised. So we'll see what they do here shortly. They're 3rd and 9. They're going to take a timeout. With that timeout, let's go ahead and look at some NBA scores around the league, and then we can look at standings here in a second. So Clippers and Thunder, they're currently playing. Thunder is up 11-6, and let's see some games that are completed. Spurs and Pacers. Pacers actually win. Those are two sorry teams. I'm not very confident on either of those two teams making the playoffs. The Spurs could potentially get a 9 seed and make the play-in game. But honestly, they'd be better off not. But when they have Coach Pop, which is probably his last year, because I would be surprised if he continues any further. I'd be surprised if he goes any further. Both teams have only had 2 wins on the season. Pacers, this being their 2nd win, so they're kind of right there. Let's see. Blazers at Sixers, 103-113. Looks like the Sixers covered the spread. It was a 2-point spread. And if you heard the fans of Philadelphia today, they were chanting, "We want Dame. We want Dame." Of course you want Dame. That would be a great selection, a great player to add to your organization. And trading for Ben Simmons away to get a player like Dame would be fit perfect in an organization such as the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, it would make a lot of sense for Philadelphia, but how much sense does it really make for the Portland Trailblazers? Gaining a player who can't shoot and his confidence is not so hot. So let's see. Going to the next game, he had Cavaliers over the Charlotte Hornets, and Cavaliers were 5-point underdogs, so they actually covered. They won 113-110. Those are two teams that potentially can make the playoffs. Let's go back home and get back into the New York at Kansas City game. They're on commercial break. Let's go back to the NBA. Let's see. So again, Cavaliers, they beat the Hornets. Hornets, I think, can make the playoffs. I would be more surprised if the Hornets do not make the playoffs this year. But they did lose that game. It was a very close game. It was at home. They should have won that game. I think the Hornets, in my opinion, probably. Now, I did this the other night. I think they're top 5. They're a top 5 team for Ben Simmons. There's a couple other teams that may make more sense, but I think that does make sense. Ben Simmons to the Hornets. Let's see. Next game, you had the Wizards at the Hawks. Hawks win 111-118. Hawks covered by, it was a 5-point spread. They won by 7. So close, but they were able to win. Wizards are looking great after the trade for Westbrook. I wasn't feeling that confident when the Lakers got Westbrook. And it looks like the Wizards actually look better. It tends to happen a lot of the time. Well, you get rid of Westbrook. He holds the ball so much, and he basically tries to carry the team the whole time. And that necessarily doesn't always work. Team basketball is better than individual basketball, unless your individual basketball player is way up here. So that tends to happen a lot. Let's go back to the game, unless it's on commercial break. Let's check in on the New York game. Yeah, it's still on commercial break. We're going to go back to the NBA. We got Bulls at the Celtics. Bulls cover. Let's see. They were 3-point dogs going into Boston. They won 128-114. Bulls are now 6-1 and are living pretty close to the top of the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Raptors looking really good. They're 5-3. They face the Knicks tonight. Knicks are 5-2. Let's see. Raptors won 113-104. So Raptors covered. They were 7.5-point dogs. They did not make the playoffs last year, and they're looking to bounce back from that season. So they're having a good start to their season. They're now 5-3, half game back of the Knicks, who are 5-2. Let's see, and that helped them in that game too, because that goes for tiebreakers. So gonna get to actually, let's go back to the game. See, it's got to be back from commercial break by now. It is. They scored a field goal. Sorry, I missed that. So, okay, they scored a field goal. It's 17-17 game. Let's see what happens from here. Let's see. They only get out to about the 17-yard line, and they get stopped on the kick return. As they go back into that, we're going to finish some of the NBA talk. Magic, they come to the Timberwolves, which, in my opinion, the Timberwolves are the worst team and worst organization basketball-wise than any other organization in the NBA. So I'm going to say that they'll probably go down as the worst. You have the Magic, who are also one of the worst teams, but they have had a couple glimpses of success in their time. Magic win 115-97. Nuggets at Grizzlies. Let's see. Grizzlies were two-point favorites. Nuggets come to the Grizzlies. They're 4-2. Grizzlies are 3-3 currently after they win over the Nuggets. They won 106-97. Let's go back to the football game and see where we're at with this. Let's see. All right, Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones is in the pocket. And let's see what we do. It looks like it's going to be a running play. It is a running play. Booker almost gets the first down. It's 2nd and 3. They got 2 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 1 with 7:55 seconds to go. I'm surprised about this game. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised who wins the game because of how bad Kansas City has played. And the Giants haven't played much better. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what either team is doing. Either team is not doing such a great job. All right, so Daniel Jones under center again. They're most likely going to run the ball, but with Daniel Jones. Oh, no, they're going to pass the ball, and they get it. They get about, oh, wow, they got some yardage. Let's see. They give it to Penny. Penny gets about, looks like 16 yards, and they're going to go ahead and move to first down. Oh, flag. Flag. All right, let's see what happens.
There after the play, and he got into it.
Oh, yeah, we can go ahead and put the sound on.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 39.
After the play was over, so they still get a first down.
First down.
Oh, replay first down?
First penalty for disqualification.
Wow.
Fifth-year player out of
just
Idaho.
Pointed the finger.
Just pointing first down. I get it, but that right there, when you say something in somebody's face, it's just unnecessary.
God damn.
I understand some people don't like this emphasis, the way that they're calling this now, but you just got to know the rules, and you just got to understand what moment you're at in the football game. You just had a big first down, gained nice yardage. You just don't want to give any of that back. And we're talking about this every week in the NFL. This point of emphasis.
Give away some yardage.
By this point, by the end of week 8, you got to know it. You don't have to like it, but you have to know it's there.
All right, so Daniel Jones, let's see, the first down and 10. They're at their own 25-yard line. He's going to try to pass it. He gets it. He gets about 4 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 6. So bad because I don't even know where these New York wide receivers, they're just random at this point. They don't care who they get. They don't care who they have. They just throw to whoever is there.
We've already talked about the fact that it's decimated. Kadarius Toney, you see, I believe, returns back to the game. But these guys need to continue to fight through.
Wonder how it would be.
Nobody cares about excuses. That's what Jason Garrett told us. Nobody cares. Just go out and make a play. Kadarius Toney is back in the game for the Giants. But they run it with Booker. Forward progress will give him a couple of yards. Jaron Reed to stop
This is winning time. Winning time for Daniel Jones. They say anyway. All right, so we got Daniel Jones, 3rd and 4. Oh yeah, you need this. You need this because you can't afford to give Kansas City the ball back. Daniel Jones snap. I feel like there's a flag somewhere. Oh, he should have ran it. Flag. Ooh, flag. Is it on Slayton or is it on the defender? We'll soon find out. Oh, it's on the defense. Oh, it's on the defense. They gave away a first down. Wow. Wow. They're just trying to give away this win. They're trying to give away this win. They don't care. God damn. They're going to go 3 and 5. Oh, yeah. Definitely held them after 5 yards. That's it. And that would have been a catch and touchdown. So may not have been the worst way to go.
That's a nice play design against man coverage. Against 11th penalty of the night against Kansas City. Equals the mark of the Super Bowl disaster. Play action.
Oh, this will work.
Booker picked up a 3 on the play. Even made the stop.
Yeah, I'd probably do this, and then the camera's actually both at the same angle, so that works out just fine. Yeah. How many people would have actually thought that New York would be tied with Kansas City this far in the game? I mean, I wouldn't have thought this. Let's see, 5 minutes to go. Second and 7. Dan Jones just to get the ball and pass it. Oh, that was almost an interception. Okay, so it's 3rd and 7. Do you trust Daniel Jones? That would be the biggest thing because I don't. Daniel Jones is trash, so I don't know what to do. All right. Let's see what goes on. So 3rd and 7, you have damn. Oh, threw it in the dirt. God damn. Should have ran it. I don't know why you wouldn't have thought to run it. Right there. Yeah, he hesitated. He should have just ran for the ball or ran with the ball. All right, let's get away from this and let's go NFL scores. Let's do NFL scores and see what teams see how everyone has done. Let's see. Okay, so we'll go over the NFL games. We're going to start off with Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football, the Packers, who were 6-1, and the Cardinals, who were undefeated, they matched up on Thursday night. Very good game. Kind of came back or down to the end. Aaron Rodgers threw for 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but got sacked once, which was pretty impressive. Dillon got 16 rush attempts, 78 yards, no touchdowns. Jones got 15 attempts, so they seem to be sharing the ball about 50-50, as you figure 16 and 15, which is impressive for the people who own Dillon, that you may be able to use him in a pinch. But if anything ever happens to Jones, you're going to have a number 1 back. Jones gets 59 yards. He gets 15 attempts. He's 3.9 yards a carry, and he had his rushing touchdown. Let's see. As of receiving, Aaron Jones did get 11 targets, I should say, 7 receptions, another 51 yards, and then no touchdowns though for him. Tonyan, who apparently just decided to come back alive. He had 4 targets, 3 receptions, 49 yards. Remember in this game, Green Bay was missing a lot of their receivers, as they're missing their number 1 receiver and then I believe their number 2 receiver. Let's see, and then there's a whole bunch of guys. Everyone thought Cobb was going to be this next, great guy. He had 2 touchdowns, but relatively didn't have many yards. He had 15 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. So that would have saved your fantasy day if you played Cobb because he really didn't do much at all. I mean, he only had 3 receptions, 2 of them of which were touchdowns. Going to the Cardinals, Murray had 274 yards, which is really low for him. He's usually over 300 yards. He had 0 touchdown passes. He had 2 interceptions. He was sacked twice as well. Edmonds was the main running back. Didn't have many yards though. He only had 30 yards rushing the ball, 4.3 yards. He had 7 rush attempts. What he did his business in the passing game, or I guess he did a little bit more than his average because he only had 30 yards rushing the ball, but he had 39 yards receiving yards. He did have that 1 rushing touchdown, which really did save a lot of fantasy lives. Definitely helped me out in this week's. Zach Ertz didn't do too much. He had about 42 yards, 4 receptions, 4 targets though, so that was impressive. Kurt, who a lot of people are looking for, hoping that he would be one of the high-power wide receivers for the Arizona Cardinals. The problem with the Arizona Cardinals is they have so many guys to feed, so many mouths to feed. It's really difficult to try to share the ball all the way around. And you may be successful some games and not other games, but what you're looking for when you have your fantasy football players is you're looking for just consistency. So to have guys who are consistent, like Hopkins is even a hard play because look, Hopkins only had 2 targets and two receptions. So that makes it really difficult to have a Hopkins on your team. Let's go to the next game. Carolina Panthers, they came over to the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta actually had Ridley. I'm sure everyone's been talking about this with his mental health. He's decided to take some time off. Another play that's hurting me because he took time off, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You don't want like a Junior Seau situation. You're not saying that he's in that situation, but you just, you got to take care of you before you can take care of anyone else. I'm a firm believer in that. So, anyways, let's start off with Carolina. Carolina did win the game 19-13. Carolina had Sam Darnold as their main quarterback. He had 13 completions, 24 attempts, so he threw the ball only 24 times. Had 129 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, though, so at least he didn't have any interceptions, but he hasn't been the quarterback he was in the beginning of the season that got them in their good position. Let's see. CMC out of the game again. It does look like if you have CMC, you may have to have him on the shelf for probably another it's seeming like another 3 to 4 weeks potentially. So I hope you have Hubbard as your backup. Talking about Hubbard, he had 24 rush attempts. He had 82 yards, 1 touchdown. His longest one was 9 yards. He did have that fumble early, so if you had him, you were like negative 2 points, which kind of really sucked at that point. Sam Darnold was the second leading rusher. He had 66 yards. He rushed 8 times, no touchdowns. His longest was a 20-yard rush. He got whacked really hard in the head too, because that was a little scary at the time. But Abdullah, he was their third. They were the third leading rusher. He had also 8 attempts, just like Sam Darnold, but had 31 yards, no touchdowns. In that essence, let's see. Talking about Royce Freeman. Royce Freeman. Remember when he was on Denver? I thought he was gonna be really good, but then Lindsey was a rookie at I believe the same year, and it didn't really work out too well for him. He ended up getting traded to Carolina. He's like their 3rd string running back. I thought he was going to do a lot better with his career, but it doesn't look to be the case. Let's see. Moore was their starting wide receiver, the guy who caught the most and was targeted the most. He was targeted 8 times, had 4 receptions, 59 yards. Abdullah, the running back, had 5 targets, 3 receptions, 35 yards. Again, no one had a touchdown on that side of the ball. Let's look at the Falcons. Matty Ice, he went 20 completions out of 27 attempts, 74% completion ratio, 146 yards. He had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and 3 sacks. So not great. Again, you're missing your main wide receiver, and then they traded away Julio Jones this season as well. Mike Davis was your leading rusher at 44 yards, no touchdowns. Cordell Patterson, who's been on fire lately, had no touchdowns but had 35 rushing yards. Again, he's more like a wide receiver running back mix. Let's see. Sharp was the starting or the best, at least the most targeted wide receiver at 6 receptions. I'm sorry, 6 targets, 5 receptions, had 58 yards, no touchdowns. Patterson did have 1 receiving touchdown. He had 5 for 5 on receptions for 37 yards, at least receiving wise. Mike Davis was 6 receptions, 5 receptions, 6 targets, 22 yards, no touchdowns in that. Pitts had a very disappointing game at 6 targets with 2 receptions. He had 1 bomb that went right to him, hit him right in the chest, and then fell. So that was kind of boozy. Koo actually missed his first field goal this game. He went 2 for 3. He had not missed an extra point. He had not missed a field goal till this game. They had to jinx him as well in that game. Let's go back to the Giants Kansas City game and see where they are. Looks like Kansas City has first down. Oh, they are close to the 30-yard line. So with 3.5 minutes, they're trying to wind down the clock and get a win at the end. So what will they do? What will the Giants do? Can they get a stop? I would doubt it, but I would have doubted also that New York Giants would be in this position at 17-17 at the end of the ball game. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Andy Reid, he's one of the best offensive coaches in the NFL, if not the best NFL coach offensively anyway.
So much on the line for both of these teams.
Go to commercial timeout. Looks like they're on a timeout. So
and they have a home against the Giants. They have the monster schedule coming up. The Chiefs do. The Giants feeling really good about themselves off last week. They're going to start getting healthy.
Let's see who's on what's on their schedule. I wonder if they'll show it. Damn, Steve Levy looks old. It looks like he dyed his hair white because I do not remember him being anywhere close to that. So if you guys remember Steve Levy, let me know if you think he looks old or not. Okay, so we got 1st and 10 at the 34. Hardman gets the ball, gets a first down. Oh, damn. Go all the way to the 9-yard line. All the way to the 9-yard line. They're going to score this ball. But are they going to score this ball and give them enough time? Because if I'm Kansas City, I'm going to feel pretty confident. Oh, thank you for the like. I'm going to feel pretty confident that they're going to be able to win this game because I would not trust Jones to be able to score a touchdown. I mean, believe me, do you believe that you would have Jones scoring a touchdown with just little time left? I don't think so. So let's see. They rush the ball. He gets sacked in the backfield. He lost 1 yard. Nothing big. Okay, it wastes time. That's fine. They're fine with that. So we'll see what goes on in the next play. If I know Kansas City with this next play on 2nd and goal, I think 2nd and 11, they're gonna fake it right and go left. They're gonna fake it right and go left. All right, here. Let's see what they do. Hey guys, we're talking NFL right now. Okay, they go to timeout. We'll go quickly back to that game. I just want to start catching up on some of these games. So you had Miami went to Buffalo. Miami had 1 win on the season so far. And let's see. Miami, I don't even want to say their quarterback's name because I'm going to butcher it. guy's name, I swear. They did say they're going to commit to him though. He went 21 completions over 39 attempts, so only 54%, 205 yards, no passing touchdowns. I don't really believe in this guy. I would be switching quarterbacks. I'd be at least looking into it. Devante Parker, he did come back. He had 11 targets, 8 receptions, 85 yards, no touchdowns. Again, no passing touchdowns from Tagalova. I don't know how to pronounce it. Gillespie, their wide receiver, had 4 targets, 3 receptions for 48 yards. That kind of did help me. At least he was able to do that. Waddle had 12 targets, 4 receptions, only 4 receptions on 12 targets. Jeez, 29 yards. Again, no one had a touchdown. As for rushing, Gaskin ran for 36 yards, 3 yards a carry with 12 carries. That whole team pretty much trash. Their defense is a lot significantly better. Now, I did think that Zach Moss was actually going to do something. Unfortunately, Zach Moss really didn't do anything, which was really unfortunate. Let's see. Josh Allen had 42 yards. 42 attempts, 29 completions, 69%, so not great. 249 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, 0 interception, and wasn't sacked. Josh Allen was the number 1 rusher with 55 yards and 1 touchdown. Singletary and Zach Moss seemed to carry about the rushing yards or rushing attempts about 50-50, 7-8, which was significantly lower than what I thought it was going to be. And let's see, Cole Beasley, 13 targets, 10 receptions, and 110 yards. No touchdowns today. Diggs did get a touchdown. He had 7 he went 5 out of 7 receptions, 40 yards. And let's go back to the game because the game's got to probably be coming back on. They're about to score.
A lot to dissect. At the moment, the outcome's still very much in doubt. We'll see if Kansas City can pull it out, Steve.
Yeah, see if Kansas City can pull it out. Let's see if they can stop them potentially for a field goal.
Even if the Chiefs win this game, their ball security has not been good. That's still going to be a concern.
Still going to be a concern, absolutely. Let's see.
2-minute warning.
Okay, 2-minute warning. New York has 1 timeout left. He does a shuttle pass. God, it was like a softball pass. He went right to him. Let's see. Okay, so they used New York looks like they used their last timeout, so they ran out of timeouts. It's 3rd and goal, and I want to say it's pretty far out too. It's not close. Yeah, I think it's like at the 9-yard line or 8-yard line. Yeah, Kelsey got he might have got like 3 yards. Yeah, if they can force a field goal here, that will look a lot better. They're going to waste some time, but that'll be enough time. That'll be enough time for sure. Daniel Jones isn't anything special, though, so I'm not sure if I go I'm sorry. I don't know if I feel confident in that. I don't know many people that would. Can they stop him? I'm going to say they do. Oh, he's about to get sacked. He got sacked. They stopped him. Exactly what I thought they stopped. Well, I didn't say they were going to get sacked, but I figured they were going to stop him on this one because they have not played good all game, so I didn't suspect that they just randomly get a touchdown right now. Wasn't pretty. So let's see if they make the field goal because that'll be the biggest thing. Because if they miss it, they randomly miss it, and that'll really hurt them as well.
Nice job on his part. Nice job of plastering down the field by the secondary of the New York Giants. Harrison Butker has been good. Last 36 attempts inside of 40. This from
Gonna miss it. Oh, he almost missed it, but he made it. He's good. He's good there. Let's see if this will work. Just want to see the matchups. Oh, no, it didn't work. Oh, that's weird. I'm going to check something out real quick, guys. Damn. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I was trying to see. I was in second place, and if Tyreek Hill didn't get that last reception that he got, I would have won and would have kept me in first place. Oh well, is what it is. No big deal. Moving on. I'm still in second place, and I still won. I was just trying to keep up in the game. Actually, let's just keep this game on. Let's keep it going. I mean, you might as well. There's only 1 minute left. Appreciate all the likes, guys. All right, Daniel Jones, you trust him? I don't, but they could at least tie this game or win the game. Daniel Jones gets the ball. Daniel Jones looks to pass. He passes it. Reception. Looks like they get out of bounds. They get about 3 yards. So it should be about 2nd and 7. Elvin Ingram, who has really disappeared because he was so promising. But then they got Rudolph, and now it's like they had 2 tight ends, and both of them aren't great. They had young stars. They got rid of Odell Beckham, too. I was pretty disappointed in that because they traded him to a team that rushed the ball, and they refused to pass it to him. All right. Daniel Jones, 1 minute left. He's going to get sacked. Okay, go. Go. Gotta go. Don't have time. Yep, now it's 3rd and 15. Just get it close. You don't need to get all the yardage now. You just need to get it close. Daniel Jones gets the ball. He's going to drops the ball. 4th down and 15. Now you got to get the ball. Now you need to get it all in this one play. If they were smart on this play, I would throw everyone out just to have them rush down the field. I would have them back up, and then Daniel Jones rush it. And you may need to fake it and then go all the way to the left, but we'll see what happens. I don't feel confident in this shit. No, he's getting sacked. Well, that's game. Yeah. So anyways, Kansas City wins the game off shitty-ass play because their team is trash. All right, let's go on to the rest of the games. So we have the 49ers at Bears. 49ers, they won 33-22. Let's look at how they played. Rookie Mitchell's looking really good. He had 137 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. Jimmy G, whatever. Sorry. 4 rushing yards, but had 2 touchdowns. He had 322 yards passing, 0 touchdowns throwing. Deebo Samuel gets hurt, but he goes for 6 receptions out of 7 targets, 171 yards. One of them was just a straight bomb from Jimmy G. Sanu had 4 targets, 3 receptions, 59 yards. Ayuk had 7 targets, which is a lot better than had been previously. 4 receptions, 45 yards. He may get a lot more attention this next week because they most likely are going to be without Samuel. So it'll either be Sanu or be Ayuk. I would actually believe that Ayuk's going to actually be a pretty good play in fantasy this week in week 9. For the Bears, the losing team, Fields actually looked pretty decent. He went 19 receptions for 27 attempts, which wasn't great in percentage-wise, but only 175 yards. He had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked 4 times. He did rush it 10 times for 103 yards. He had that one spectacular rushing touchdown. 23 rush attempts, 72 yards for Herbert. No rushing touchdowns though. Williams has been an afterthought. He has two. He had 2 rushing attempts, -3 yards. I don't know how that's even possible, but it is. Mooney had 9 targets, 6 receptions, 64 yards, no touchdowns. James had 3 targets, 3 receptions, and 38 yards, 1 touchdown. No other touchdowns to be talked of the day. Allen Robinson has been absolute garbage and trash. So I feel sorry for all you guys who had Allen Robinson on your team because you probably drafted him pretty high and has been a waste. And a lot of people are talking about how great he was going to be. I was not a believer in that. Let's go over to the Steelers and Browns game. Steelers, they win this game 15-10, which was absolute garbage from both teams. 15-10. Big Ben throws for 266 yards, 1 touchdown. Let's see. They lost their kicker, so they weren't able to get extra points. So they just had to go for 2 points like every time. There was at one point in the game that they actually went for 2, and it was like, going for 2, but they were like 16 yards out and they still had to go for it because they had no kicker. I mean, apparently they couldn't just put anyone in. Harris, he rushed 26 times, 26 attempts. He had 91 yards, 1 touchdown. No other rushing touchdowns on the day. Let's see. Again, 1 touchdown from Big Ben. That one lone touchdown went to Freedmuth. Johnson went for 98 yards, 6 receptions on 13 targets, 5 targets, 4 receptions for Claypool, which everyone was really huge on, only had 45 yards on today's game. Harris actually had 3 receptions, 3 targets, 29 yards. But again, no more rushing or no more receiving touchdowns. For the Browns, Mayfield actually made his return, and they actually looked better with Mayfield not on the team, which has started to have a lot of people think about should he be the quarterback? He's more for the name because he was that number 1 pick, but he really isn't that great, and that's what's causing the Browns to have such a bad season so far. Nick Chubb had 61 yards, 0 touchdowns. Johnson had 4 rush attempts, 22 yards, and 1 touchdown. If you had him on your team, I hope you started him for that one little bit because at least he would have got you something. Landry, 5 receptions, 10 targets, 65 yards. So he came back from his injury. Ayuk, their tight end, 3 receptions, 3 targets, 39 yards, no touchdowns. No touchdowns from anybody because, again, Mayfield sucked ass at 225 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 4 sacks. Let's see. Going to the next game, and we're only going to go through a couple more games before we leave. We have Philadelphia. They just demolished the Detroit Lions. Hurts had 14 attempts, 9 completions, 103 yards throwing. So obviously not so good. Minshew actually went 2 for 2 with 11 yards. So I think realistically he should be the starter for Philadelphia. I think there'd be a lot better position if he was. But Hurts did run. Hurts did run for 71 yards, no touchdowns. Bart Scott ran for 2 touchdowns, 60 yards. Jordan Howard ran for 12 attempts, 57 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gainwell, who everyone had being the number 1 guy, he actually had no touchdowns, very little play, which was very surprising. I'm not going to go into the Lions because they were just garbage. Titans and Colts, that was a pretty good game, like I said before. I did have the Titans in this game. Very sad that Henry was lost for this. For the most part, it's going to be lost for the season, especially for fantasy owners. He had 68 yards on 28 attempts with broken foot, apparently, it looks like. And let's see, Tannehill, who everyone thought was going to be better this year, had not been very good this season. Didn't get 300 yards again, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and was also sacked 3 times. When it comes to receiving, no one really knows what's going to happen there. I know they did sign Adrian Peterson. I'm not very confident that Adrian Peterson at his old age, especially in running back years, that he's going to be anything of significance. So they're probably going to do a mixture of kind of rushing with everybody, which is unfortunate because that was their identity of the team was running the ball with Henry. So let's see. A.J. Brown, he had 11 targets, 10 receptions, 155 yards, and a touchdown. He looked like a true number one wide receiver. McNichols, he had 3 targets, 3 receptions, and 33 yards, so nothing great there. Realistically, no one else had that good of a game on the Titans. For the Colts, Carson Wentz had 51 attempts passing the ball, 27 receptions, 200. All those attempts and only 231 yards. A really horrible play. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Was only sacked once. Taylor had 70 yards on 16 attempts, 4.4 yards in average, and had 1 rushing touchdown. Wentz had 11 yards rushing out of 3 attempts. Pittman was your number one wide receiver in this game. He had, or at least on this side of the field, he had 10 receptions, 15 targets, and 86 receiving yards with 2 receiving touchdowns. Doyle was the only other player who caught a touchdown. Let's see. Let's go. Big shocker of the weekend was the Jets and Bengals. Apparently, I mean, I would go ahead and keep them playing. I know they picked up Joe Flacco, but I mean, Joe Flacco is nothing special. So I think I would keep on with this white kid. And I know he is white, but that's his last name. I'd go with him. He had 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions and 2 sacks. But he's a young kid, and he did very well slinging the ball in a very hard defense of the Cincinnati Bengals. Carter had 77 yards and 1 touchdown. He was the number one fantasy football running back this week in week 8. Carter had 14 targets, 9 receptions, and 95 receiving yards to go with the 77 yards that he had rushing the ball. No one else really had that many attempts because he has 15 attempts of rushing and 14 attempts of receiving. So he could be something special if you had him on your team. Let's see. That's pretty much going to wrap it up because I'm not going to go into any more of the games. I guess I could quickly go into the game that just ended. But instead of doing that, let's go ahead and look into week 9. I think that would be a little bit more interesting for you guys if I kind of give you what I think is going to happen in week 9 before the week really starts. I know we're on Monday right now, but let's go with that. And then I will do my picks of the week once. I'll try to do it in a couple days so I can try to get out early. I wasn't able to get out early as of recently. So let's go Jets and Colts. Jets are minus 10.5. With how well White played, I'm going to go ahead and say Jets will cover on Thursday night at 10.5. Now it is at the Colts. Usually when you are the home team, that's like 3 points right there. I'm going to go ahead and say the Jets because both teams are, for the most part, not that good. But the Jets pretty much are getting all their players back. To lose by 10.5 is kind of hard. I know both teams aren't that good. So, I mean, it can happen, obviously. Anything can happen. As we just saw, Kansas City was barely able to beat Kansas City was barely able to beat the Giants. But I'm going to go ahead and say Jets on that one. Browns at Bengals. Let's see, 3-point Bengals. I'm going to go ahead and definitely say the Bengals win this game. They're probably embarrassed that they lost to the Jets. They're really going to want to get their running game going, and they're going to throw the ball deep to Chase. So I think Chase is going to have a huge game in this one, and they win this game. It's only a 3-point spread, so I'm definitely taking it. The 46.5 is over under. I'm going to also take that over on that. Broncos at Cowboys. I don't know if Dak plays, and that's going to be the biggest difference maker if Dak plays or if he doesn't play. Broncos, let's see, Cowboys are 8.5-point favorites. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Broncos cover in this game in Dallas because I don't know how Dak's going to play, and even if he does play, I mean, they could easily blow him out, but I can see the Broncos keeping it close. Next game, let's see, Titans at Dolphins, two really shitty teams. I guess it matters if Tyrod Taylor comes back. I think he's supposed to come back. It's a 7-point Dolphins are 7-point favorites. Both teams are 1-7, so both teams are looking for their second. I don't know. I don't think the Texans even know what they're doing. Falcons at Saints. So this is a divisional game. Falcons are 3-4. Saints are 5-2. They get Hill is returning. It looks like as a go ahead and Saints do win this game by -6, so they have to. I think that's very doable. Raiders at Giants. Raiders win this game. They're 3-point favorites. I'm going to go ahead and say that they win this game. I don't have to go too much in depth in that game. It is in New York. I just don't think that New York's going to be able to keep up. Surprising what they did this week, but it is a short week. And they have to go back home. That part's that hard, but I don't think they win this. I don't think they cover the 3 points. Patriots at Panthers. Patriots are 3.5-point favorites. Both teams are 4-4. It's pretty much close to a pick'em game. I'm gonna go ahead and go Patriots would do win this game. Bills at Jaguars 14.5. I say Bills do definitely win this game by more than 14.5. This one might be just a straight embarrassment. And I'm really hoping so because I got a lot of these guys on my fantasy football team. Let's see. Vikings and Ravens. Ravens are 5.5-point favorites. I'm going to go ahead and say Vikings do cover that game. I don't think that the Vikings will win, but I think they do cover in this game. Chargers at Eagles. Chargers at Eagles. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to go ahead and say that Eagles actually do take this one, which will be kind of somewhat surprising, but I do have this as a very high-scoring game. It's a 51-point over-under. I'm going to take the over. Packers and Chiefs. I'm going to go ahead and take the Packers in this game. They just got their W in this one. I don't think it'll be enough, though, unfortunately. I think Packers do win this game. Cardinals and 49ers. Do the Cardinals lose back-to-back games after going 7-0? I say that probably won't happen. I think the Arizona gets back on track against the 49ers this week. It's only a 2.5-point spread. I'm definitely taking the Cardinals. Titans 6-2 at Rams 7.5. I'm going to go ahead and say Rams for sure. Without Derrick Henry, I have them having little to no luck and little to no opportunity to win this game. They're going to have to be throwing the ball a lot. So if you can potentially get Julio Jones or one of those wide receivers on that team, or if you already have AJ Brown, then you're going to be looking pretty good because they're going to be passing the ball. And I really wish they had those tight ends. If you can get one of those tight ends, that probably would be a good idea as well. Let's see, last game, and then we'll all go into who's on bye this week. So the Bears are at the Steelers. Bears are 3-5. Steelers 4-3. Steelers are 6.5-point favorites, and it's a 40-point over/under. I'm gonna go ahead and go over on that because that's pretty easy to get over on 40 points. It's pretty rare that you're under that. And with the Bears, I think that Fields is actually going to start showing up a little bit more. Hey, H Fabulous. What's happening? 6.5-point spread. I'm going to go ahead and say Steelers lose this game. I think Bears actually take this one. For this week are the Lions. The 0-8, so I'm sure they're happy and ecstatic to be or bye because no one wants to go 0-9. And this is starting to look like the season where they did lose every single game the whole year. Seahawks are 3-5. They desperately do need a bye week. It does sound like Russell Wilson should be back coming here soon, potentially after the bye. Reigning champions, Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 6-2. They also get a bye. It's a good time because they have Rob Gronkowski, who's currently out. And then you have the Washington football team. They're 2-6. They also need the help. Washington did say that they look like they're going to stick with Hickey as their quarterback and not have Fitzpatrick be their quarterback, which I think is a huge disadvantage. But let's go into the NBA. Let's go over to the scores, and then we're going to sign off here momentarily. So let's see. It looks like it is halftime with the Thunder's-Clippers game. Thunder and Clippers. Let's see. It looks like Thunder is up 4. Again, no Kawhi Leonard in this game. Let's see. Alexander has 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist, 1 turnover. He's leading the team, so no one's actually hit double digits for the Thunder. Let's see. As for the Clippers, only Man, who had that great playoff run, has more than 10 points. Let's see. It looks like George only has 5 points. He's 0 for 1 from 3 and 1 from 9 from the field. So really shooting very poorly. He does have 7 rebounds, 4 assists. So he's kind of doing a lot of other things. He does have 2 steals as well. Let's see. Let's go into. I think that's the last game of the night. That is the last game of the night. Okay. So quickly to go over the wins of today. You have the Nuggets lost to the Grizzlies 97-106. Magic won 115 at Minnesota 97. Raptors win at New York. They 113-104. Bulls win 128-114. They're looking at the top of the Eastern Conference. Wizards lose to the Hawks in Atlanta 111-118. The Cleveland Cavaliers they win 113 over the Hornets in Charlotte. The Portland Trailblazers lose 103 to the Sixers 113. The Spurs lose 118-131 to the Pacers. Let's look quickly at the standings for both Eastern and Western Conference Western Conference teams. So just like I said, we have Chicago, who is 6-1 currently, leading the Eastern Conference. 5-1 is the Miami Heat. New York Knicks are 5-2 after the loss tonight. They're in third place. Philadelphia 5-2, and this is without without Simmons. Washington then is currently in the playoff race at 5-2. Toronto is in sixth place, 5-3. Charlotte 5-3, and Brooklyn 4-3. They got back into the playoff race. Atlanta should make the playoffs. They're 4-3 currently. Cleveland is going to be fighting for a playoff spot. They're 4-4. Milwaukee, the defending champions, they're going to make the playoffs. So which team is not going to make it? That's going to be really interesting because all those teams look like they should make the playoffs. If a team's not going to make it, it's probably going to be Toronto because they don't have much firepower. Detroit's going to get Cunningham here shortly. Let's look at the Western Conference. So in the Western Conference, the leading team in any division in the conference anyway, Utah is 5-1. Golden State 5-1. Very surprising so far. Golden State. Dallas is 4-2. Lakers are 4-3. They're getting back on the right track currently. Memphis 4-3. Denver 4-3 as well at the 6th seed. So a lot of 4-3s. Everyone's kind of like right there. Again, it's season so early. Minnesota's 3-3, but that's going to go backwards very fast. Sacramento 3-3. Portland 3-4. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs this year. If they do, they'll probably be kind of right where they are. Phoenix, they are 2-3, a little bit of a hangover from the NBA Finals, but they'll get back on track. They have CP3, they got Booker, they got Ayton, they'll be fine. San Antonio 2-5, an 11 seed somehow. Team's trash. Clippers 1-4. I hope they don't make the playoffs, but they probably will, and they'll probably disappoint everybody who's a Clippers fan. Houston 1-5, and let's see, Oklahoma City 1-5, New Orleans 1-5, and Zion should be sidelined for a little bit longer. That's all we have for you guys today. I'm gonna try to make this an everyday kind of thing, and kind of go over where I think the NBA, the NFL is gonna go. I appreciate all the likes that you had for me. I appreciate all the time that you guys watched this video. I will talk to you later, and goodbye.